Hi there guys, and welcome once again to Jonesy's vlog. So I thought I'd move away from the football and the sports for a bit and just talk about another big interest in my life and something I've always had a big love for, and that of course is Doctor Who. Those of you that have been with me for a while will already know this, but those of you that are new to the channel are also Doctor Who fans. I'm guessing you'd be Doctor Who fans to watch this video, but I am sort of currently doing another series called Who Is or Who Was. I'll just put a little annotation up here that will take you to the playlist so far. Basically, where I'm looking at all the actors through the years that have all played the Doctor through the use of a really interesting, insightful book. But it's real fun, real good to do. So so do go check that out. So yeah, like I say, I just thought I would sort of give my quick thoughts on last night's series opener, brand new series of Doctor Who Series 8, and of course the brand new Doctor Peter Capaldi. I say last night, I think this is going out on Monday, so obviously I mean 2 nights ago, but I'm recording this on Sunday. So yes, I thought I would just give my quick thoughts on it. I just want to make this very clear from the start. Although I'm not wanting to go into the plot too much of what happened in Deep Breath, you know, from some of the things I'm going to be saying, I'm just going to say spoiler alert, and I'm wanting to make it really ultra clear. If no one has watched the episode yet, then go watch the episode before you see me or anyone else talking about the show. No matter how deep or how little I'm going to be going into it, you know, I'm sure someone who hasn't watched it would watch this and say, why didn't you mention spoilers? So, spoiler alert. I think I've made that pretty clear now. Those of you that have not watched the first episode, go away and watch it now. I'll give you a little while. Hopefully those that haven't watched it have disappeared. And if you then decided to come back to it, then welcome back. So, since David Tennant's Doctor, and through that time, I mean, I'm obviously, you know, being a little bit older, I was originally brought up on obviously classic Who and classic Doctor Who, thanks to my brother. But luckily I did manage to get into the new generation Doctor Who as well. But like I say, since David Tennant's Doctor, I've really kind of wanted an older Doctor to kind of come in and give a different sort of dynamic kind of style, you know, to the show, and just something, give it a different direction. So obviously when Matt Smith came along and it was a younger Doctor, you know, I was slightly disappointed, but of course, you know, Matt Smith turned out to be absolutely, you know, amazing. So for me, I wasn't surprised at all that they decided to go from the young Matt Smith to the older Capaldi. You know, I didn't know, or I didn't think it was going to be Peter Capaldi, you know, apart from the fact that it was in, you know, rumours and betting odds, he's not someone I'd have thought of. But as soon as he was announced and revealed, I was really excited. You know, I know there was a lot of people, you know, maybe the younger fans that have maybe only just been brought up on the new sort of generation of Doctor Who, were a little bit disappointed, because I suppose they've been used to, you know, the younger kind of Doctors. But for me, I thought, you know, this was just what the show needed to like I say, give it that different direction. And for me, I was wanting the Doctor to move into a sort of a darker kind of place, and that's exactly what they seem to be doing with Capaldi and with his Doctor. And last night, I think everyone, you know, you're always nervous when a new Doctor sort of coming in, because you have no idea how it's going to be, and you get it in your own head how you think they're going to play it. And last night, I've got to be honest, the way it started, I wasn't convinced that the way it started. I knew, obviously, from the way it was going, that they were wanting to go down the route of him being very confused, not quite knowing who he was, and, you know, the way it started, I couldn't get my head around how it was working. But after looking back on it, you know, watching it a second time and just watching it all again, it was just genius the way they did it, you know, creating this dithery old man that didn't seem to be the Doctor, and you know the way it fell into the script, you know the fact of Clara not seeing him for who he was, you know, not recognising the character of the Doctor, it was just brilliant. But you know, once it you know it was getting more into the episode, and you know Capaldi was really coming out there and starting to put his own imprint on the Doctor. I just love it. I think it's going to be so good. Like I say, it's got that darker aspect of it, but the humour is still there, which is so important to Doctor Who. You know, you've got to have that humour there, and the quick little sort of witty one-liners, you know, the quick reference into sort of older characters and everything, you know, him mentioning about having a long scarf, you know, him also talking about, you know, old characters, saying, you know, sometimes I wish Amy was still here, you know, talking about the TARDIS, saying I wish I had more bumpy things, or whatever it was, the round things. You know, that there was just still that humour there throughout it, which, if it is going to be getting darker, it's still important to have that humour to kind of keep maybe younger generations, you know, interested. I've tried not to look at too many sort of other reviews and people sort of talking about it, because for me some people can take it just too far with how much they go into things and look into things, and for me that just spoils it a bit. But I did see some people saying, oh, I didn't understand, you know, why, you know, the Doctor was being so dithery at the start, and, you know, giving, you know, looking like an old man that doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, how can you miss? I mean, that's the point. That was the whole start and the whole emphasis of the episode. You know, he's just regenerated. You know, he's now over 2,000 years old. You know, he's done so much, you know, in his life, and he's just had this regeneration, and he's obviously trying to remember and find who he is, and I can't believe people somehow missed that in, you know, in the episode. You know, I really can't understand it, but for me, I thought it was really well done how they did that. You know, bringing in his Scottish accent and everything, and him talking about other, you know, the other characters' accents and not sounding right and everything. For me, it did just hit the spot, and even though I didn't quite get it at the beginning, it did sort of fall into place for me, and I'm just over the moon that, you know, I am happy with Capaldi, because I think I was just so worried that I wasn't going to like it. But, you know, generally, it seems from what I've seen from everyone, they all seem to be happy with him too, so it's, you know, it's a good start for Peter Capaldi. Looking elsewhere, I'm going to say now, overall, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was great, but it wasn't perfect. So I thought I'll get the negatives out of the way first. So first of all, I'm glad that, you know, Madame Vastra and Jenny and Strax are still about and around. You know, I still love Strax. He makes me laugh so much, and it's good to see Madame Vastra and Jenny still around. But I have no idea what they've done to the character of Madame Vastra. But for me, at the start last night, it seemed like a completely different character. You know, I even saw what fan art on Twitter, you know, good friends with Nerdcubed, saying he was having to try and work out if it was actually still the same person playing her. And I know what he means, because it was just a totally different Vastra to what we've seen in previous series. You know, she was still showing that, you know, dark side to her, and the fact that, you know, as a Silurian, you know, she still has that, not evil presence inside her, but that sort of volatile nature to her, which kind of came through when she was talking to Clara. I did really like that scene, by the way. I thought that was brilliant. But there was just something about her. I mean, she seemed more, I don't know how to put it, I don't even know if this is the right way to put it, but more kind of sexualized. She just seemed to, you know, there was some flirting with Clara, you know, the way that she was being with Jenny. I mean, for me, another thing that was kind of weird, I didn't get the amount of times that they seemed to put in the script that, you know, Jenny and Vastra were an item and married and in love. I mean, it was mentioned about 4 or 5 times in the first 20-25 minutes. And I don't really know why they were doing that, and it just seemed a bit sort of overkill with it. You know, we know the relationship, you know, obviously if there's new fans watching and new people watching, then, you know, I don't mind it being reintroduced, the fact that they're a couple, but like I said, they just seem to overkill it a bit, and it just, you know, there were just little bits of the script throughout that just seemed just a bit weak, and I just wasn't overly sure about it. I mean, it's very rare you're going to get absolutely perfect, you know, full episodes, and, you know, things that everyone is going to be happy with. So for me, just little bits like that were just a bit weak, and some of the acting, you know, overall I was over the moon that Clara seemed to come out a little bit more with her character, and we seemed to learn a little bit more about her. But again, there were just little bits, not necessarily the way she acted, but just bits in the script that again were just a little bit, you know, it was this bit. Once I'd finished the episode, although I was happy with it and enjoyed it, there was just something, and I mean I tweeted it last night, or Saturday night, that something didn't quite sit right with me, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And having watched it again, I'm thinking maybe it's just little weak points in the script, maybe, that just maybe disappointed me a little bit and just didn't sit right. So like I said, those were the weak points that really got to me. And like I say, the positives, I was really pleased with Clara's development in her character. You know, the way she stood up to Vastra, I thought was really fantastic. The way she sort of dealt with the Doctor, and her trying to come to terms with, you know, the fact it was her Doctor, and well, it was the Doctor, and, you know, not just some other person. Because, you know, although I really enjoyed, you know, the sort of last series with her and Matt Smith, there was just something about her that wasn't quite right. Like, she was just, you know, she was just a sidekick. There seemed to be no sort of secondary kind of, there were no other dimensions to sort of her character. And, you know, she was a nice sort of good character, and it, you know, the whole Impossible Girl thing, you know, all worked really well. But there was just something needed to kind of come out, and I think that development came true with Deep Breath. So, you know, I was really pleased with that, and I really loved how straight away, you know, first episode of the brand new series, and already they're bringing in sort of mysterious things that are clearly, you know, setting up for the rest of the series, you know. Right at the very end, like I say, I don't want to go too much into plots, but the mysterious woman at the end claiming some kind of romantic link to the Doctor, and just being a very eccentric character. Now, in my own mind, I have my own thoughts on, it's probably more who I want it to be rather than who I think it is, but if it is who I want it to be, then I will be over the moon and think it will be a very clever way of how they've done it. But even if it isn't, then it's, you know, like I say, it's another mysterious character for everyone to be, you know, and ahhing over. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it like I usually do, but you know, just little things there, you know, little sort of teasers and things to how the rest of the series is kind of going to pan out. So I'm really glad that they brought that back in. It was nice to see Matt Smith again. You know, I'm sure there'll be lots of people saying what was the point in having him back in it and bringing him back. For me, I thought it was quite nice, you know, because his regeneration happened so quick. You know, it was kind of like that, and, you know, I saw a lot of people saying, you know, it wasn't really a kind of proper goodbye moment or anything. You know, it just kind of happened. So I guess that kind of worked as a proper little goodbye between him and Clara, and yeah, I was pleased to see him, because, you know, I ended up loving Matt Smith. I thought it was such a fantastic, beautiful Doctor. So yeah, always good to see, you know, some cameo appearances like that. So yeah, I just wanted to give my quick little thoughts. You know, I'm not, like I say, I'm not one of these that want to go super in depth with everything and looking at all the ins and outs of things and saying how certain things worked and how they didn't. And, you know, I just love to enjoy Doctor Who at the end of the day. You know, I think it's such a fantastic programme. You know, you get a lot of people making fun of you for, you know, being an adult and enjoying it, but fuck 'em. But yeah, like I say, I just wanted to give my quick thoughts. I'm not going to go way into it like some people will, and kind of be a bit of a buzzkill about everything. I'm really excited about it. Like I say, Capaldi I think is going to be fantastic. He's going to be a brilliant Doctor. You know, the fact that he's even come out and said himself, Capaldi, that he's not even too sure of how his portrayal of the Doctor is kind of going. Like, he doesn't feel he's even stamped his own authority on it yet. But in a way, I think that kind of works, because the way his Doctor's going to be is he still doesn't quite know who he is. So for me, you know, the fact that Capaldi's saying that himself, you know, it's kind of a genius way of going about it. You know, maybe he's not wanting to stamp his authority on it, because that's the way it should be. So yeah, like I say, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited by it, and already can't wait for next week's episode, which already looks like, again, spoiler alert if you don't want to, but looks like the Daleks are back in it. Well, it doesn't look like it. The Daleks are back in it because I saw them. So it'll be interesting to see how they're kind of written back into it, and you know, why they're about and everything, and how, you know, this Doctor will sort of deal with them, really. So that's all I have to say, guys. So yeah, like I say, something a bit different. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do this for all the episodes. I just wanted to give my thoughts on, you know, with it being the first episode of the brand new series and it being a new Doctor, just saying, you know, my feelings about it all. So you know, if you have enjoyed it, if you do want to see me sort of giving quick reviews on the other episodes in the series, then, you know, let me know in the comments below. You can also get in touch with me at my Twitter at ChrisJonesLUFC. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. Like I say, if you haven't seen my my other little series that's still ongoing, still got quite a few more to go on that as well. The Who Was series, then do go check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. But until then, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all very soon.